A Washington Post ABC News poll showed Biden with a 51% disapproval rating, while just 44% approved. An NPR Marist poll showed him with an approval rating dropping 10 points at 43%. And now there's reports it's affecting 7 key congressional districts Democrats are defending in 2022. Ballotpedia Scott Rasmussen joins us this morning with a closer look at this. And Scott, you recently conducted your own poll about President Biden's approval numbers. And according to your latest poll, how do voters feel about the president's performance? Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, Jan. The numbers that we're finding are very similar to the numbers you just reported on. Right now, 42% of voters say they approve of the way the president is doing his job, 52% disapprove. The numbers I think that should be really concerning to the Biden administration, though, are right now it's the intensity issue. Only 28% strongly approve of the president's performance, 41% strongly disapprove. And to give you a little context, that's a lot like the numbers that President Trump faced at this point in his term in office.
So it's not that unusual for a president in their first term to see numbers like this. And we still have all kinds of time until the midterms. Right. People's minds changing oh so fast these days, right? What are some key indicators you're seeing, though, with this polling that shows it could or could not stay at this level?
Well, the immediate driving force is the situation in Afghanistan. And I would suspect that, if or as that begins to fade, the president's numbers will rebound a little bit. But there's a lot more going on. There's this crisis at the southern border. There's the pandemic. There are just issues out in the public space right now that are causing problems that are not likely to go away soon. But at this moment in time, it is the situation in Afghanistan, which is pushing down the president's number.
Speaking of which, how do registered voters feel about his decision to remove the troops from Afghanistan? I know you just did a recent poll on this as well.
That's right. Well, look, you got to be clear on this. Most people are happy we're out of Afghanistan. They've been waiting for a long time to hear that we were ending our 20-year involvement there. But only 38% approve of the fact that we withdrew these troops before all Americans were evacuated. I mean, that's the big issue here. One of the reasons 3 out of 4 voters say they think it's likely that Americans who are left behind will eventually be discovered, killed, and tortured, or tortured and killed.
And you also mentioned, too, there are a number of factors affecting this. One poll he has not been able to shake is his handling of illegal immigration and border security. Just like with the execution of how that was handled with Afghanistan, Americans are actually more united on this issue as well. What are his numbers on this?
Well, when you talk about the southern border, most Americans view this as a crisis. The president doesn't want to talk about it. Only 31% right now are saying the president is doing a good or an excellent job handling the situation at the southern border.
An issue that's always going to get a president is the economy. People do tend to vote with their wallet at the polls. And as we know, the Bureau of Labor Statistics did announce the economy only added 235,000 jobs in August. That was well below expectations. We've got record inflation, record number of job openings, record number of people not working. None of that good for him at this point.
Absolutely not. More significantly, in the political sense, is that people are beginning to feel the pinch in their own wallet. It's not the feelings about the economy overall that drive people to vote one way or the other. It's what's happening to their family. And right now, for the first time, we're finding more people saying, first time in the Biden administration, we're finding more people saying their personal financial situation is getting worse rather than better. And they're making a connection between their situation and the Biden administration policies. 6 out of 10 say more government spending leads to that inflation.
And we're also seeing this rise of law and order where the idea of defunding the police went away really just as fast as it started in many places. And now you hear mayors talking about giving more funds to police departments to beef up the force. As we see this rise in violent crime and how it correlates with how voters feel about how he has handled crime since coming into office. What do your numbers show about that?
Right now, it's not a direct correlation between that issue and the president. But what we are seeing is people do think the increase in crime and violent crime is connected to the defund the police movement. The president is trying to stay a little bit away from that. I think the danger for the president might be if the perception of what happened in Afghanistan is linked to the crisis at the southern border and is then linked to violence in the cities. Right now, just 45% of voters trust the Biden administration to keep the nation safe. That's a devastating number.
That's not good. And you mentioned, President Trump, former President Trump, also had similar numbers in his first year of his presidency as well. How do President Biden's numbers compare to other presidents in the past?
You know, every president has unique circumstances, so the timing goes up and down a little bit. But when you talk about President Biden right now, he's getting to a place. He's a little bit lower than Barack Obama was when he was in office. He's roughly in the same place as Donald Trump. But both Obama and Trump spent most of their first terms in office with their approval ratings below 50%. It looks like President Biden might stay there right now. But Jan, there's a huge difference between the 42% approval rating today and what it might look like in the upper 40s for the president. If the president's numbers stay where they are, the Republicans are going to have a very good midterm election.
I was going to say, how concerning is that for Democrats? We're still a year out from the midterms. Well,
things change, obviously, over the course of the year. The president's approval rating is a really good marker of, the general public mood. If the president's ratings are at 42% next November, the Republicans will win a lot of seats in the House, and they will almost certainly win control of the U.S. Senate. If the president's numbers improve a little bit, that might ease. But Jen, right now, when we talk to people, those who are most excited to vote are on the Republican side. They're people who support policies like those of former President Trump on the generic congressional ballot. The voters who are motivated right now, 48% of them say they're going to vote for a Republican, just 43% for a Democrat. Difficult times for the Democratic Party.
Scott Rasmussen, always great to see you and hear your polling numbers. Thanks for joining us.